The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This has been an edifying debate. But as Harry Truman noted, let's just talk about the facts. Let's debunk the argument that we're hiring 87,000 armed IRS agents to go knocking on doors in the middle of the night. This is a substantial investment in technology. This is a substantial investment in customer service. And yes, the $80 billion is over 10 years. That's $8 billion a year to improve customer service. That's what we're talking about. At least 8,000 agents retire from the IRS every year. We're simply replacing them. You know, in our school systems back home, when 200 teachers retire, we replace 200 teachers. That's what we're doing here with the IRS. To make this preposterous argument that all of a sudden next week 87,000 armed, because you always have to use the language that's incendiary enough to get people worked up around here, that 87,000 armed agents in the dark of night will be hounding innocent taxpayers, despite what Janet Yellen said about no taxpayer making under $400,000 a year is going to be targeted. Mr. Rosati, the IRS commissioner, not me, he said at least $574 billion a year goes uncollected, a Democrat. A Republican IRS commissioner, Mr. Reddick, who we worked with, he said it might be $1 trillion a year that goes uncollected, a Donald Trump appointee who stated that and raised that issue a number of times in front of the Ways and Means Committee. Let me make a point that I raised earlier. Tax compliance in a representative democracy is a fundamental commitment to civilization and first-class services. So by not collecting this revenue, are we going to say down the road, well, maybe we'll cut Social Security? Maybe we'll cut Medicare. Of course, maybe we'll cut Medicaid. Or maybe we'll cut the American military. Now, we all know that in this discussion that the facts are very clear here. They've been upset with the IRS for a long period of time. We all remember the Lois Lerner episode. Even though the facts in that case pointed out that the advocates on the right and the left were audited at the same rate. That's a fact. So as we close this argument out, let's stand up for the honest taxpayers in America and make sure that the IRS that currently cracks down on the EITC will be able to actually address some of the complexities of modern tax law, which we all agree, by the way, the system is far too complex, but I've been through that argument many times here as well. This fear-mongering that you're hearing tonight about upgrading the technology and software investments at the IRS for the purposes of modeling for better tax compliance is just that. It's fear-mongering. All we want is a set of rules that is applicable to all as it relates to tax collection. This is not anything other than simply suggesting that there's a fairness that is applied to the Internal Revenue Service so that they might address and make sure that those at the very top are complying with the same laws we ask the wage earners through withholding to address every single day. And thanks for a spirited debate, Mr. Speaker, and to our friends on the other side.
Nebraska is recognized.